नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। Myself Dr. Aarti, Associate Professor, Department of Pathology. Today we are going to start with the fibrocystic changes in the breast. Fibrocystic change is the most common benign breast condition producing vague, lumpy breast rather than the palpable lump in the breast. Its incidence has been reported to range from 20% in adult women, most often between the third and fifth decade of life, with dramatic decline in its incidence after menopause, suggesting the role of estrogen and its pathogenesis. As such, fibrocystic change of the female breast is a histological entity characterized by following features. First is the cystic dilatation of terminal ducts, relative increase in inter and intralobular fibrous tissue, variable degree of epithelial proliferation in the terminal ducts. It is important to identify the spectrum of histologic features by core needle biopsy and cytologic finding by FNAC in fibrocystic changes, since only some subset of changes has an increased risk of development of breast cancer. Presently, the spectrum of histologic changes is divided into two pathologically relevant groups. First is the non-proliferative fibrocystic change, that is a simple fibrocystic change. Simple fibrocystic change most commonly include two features: formation of cyst of varying size and increase in fibrous stoma. General characteristics or generalized appearance: the cyst has rarely the solitary but are usually multifocal and bilateral. They vary from microcyst to 5 to 6 centimeter in diameter, and usually large cyst is rounded, translucent with bluish color prior to opening. Blue dome cyst. Microscopic examination: following two features are seen. First is the cyst formation, that is, the cyst lining shows a variety of appearance. Often the epithelium is flattened or atrophic. Frequently, there is apocrine change or apocrine metaplasia in the lining of the cyst, resembling the cells of apocrine sweat gland. Second one is a fibrosis. There is an increased fibrous stroma surrounding the cyst and variable degree of stromal lymphocytic infiltrate. Second type is the proliferative fibrocystic change, epithelial hyperplasia and sclerosing adenosis. Proliferating fibrocystic change is the breast in the breast include two entities: epithelial hyperplasia and sclerosing adenosis. Epithelial hyperplasia or epitheliosis is defined as increase in layers of epithelial cells over the basement membrane to three or more layers in the duct. That is called the ductal hyperplasia or lobules or lobular hyperplasia. The later condition, lobular hyperplasia, must be distinguished from adenosis, that is discussed separately, in which there is increase in number of ductules or acini without any change in the number or type of cell lining them. Microscopic examination: epithelial hyperplasia is characterized by epithelial proliferation to more than its normal double layer. In general, ductal hyperplasia is termed as epithelial hyperplasia of usual type and may show various grades of epithelial proliferations: mild, moderate, and atypical, as under, while lobular hyperplasia involving the ductules or acini is always atypical. First is a mild hyperplasia of ductal epithelium, consists of at least three layers of cell above the basement membrane, present focally or evenly throughout the duct. Tendency to fill the ductal lumen with proliferated epithelium. Such epithelium proliferation into lumina of ducts may be focal, forming papillary epithelial projections called the ductal papillomatosis, or may be more extensive, termed the florid papillomatosis, or may fill the ductal lumen, leaving only small fenestrations in it. Third of all the ductal hyperplasia, atypical ductal hyperplasia is more ominous and has to be distinguished from intraductal carcinoma. The proliferated epithelial cells in the atypical ductal hyperplasia partially fill the duct lumen and produce the irregular microglandular spaces or cribriform pattern. Atypical lobular hyperplasia is closely related to lobular carcinoma in situ, but differ from the later in having cytologically atypical cells only in half of the ductules or acini. Sclerosing adenosis is benign proliferation of small ductules or acini and intralobular fibrosis. The lesion may be present as diffusely scattered microscopic foci in the breast parenchyma and may form an isolated palpable mass. General examination show the lesion may be coexistent and with other component of fibrocystic disease or may form an isolated mass which has hard cartilage-like consistency resembling an infiltrating carcinoma. In microscopic examination, there is a proliferation of ductules or acini and fibrous stromal overgrowth. The histological appearance may superficially resemble infiltrating carcinoma but differ from the later in having maintained lobular pattern. What is the prognostic significant? That is simple fibrostic change and non-proliferative fibrocystic change of fibrosis and cyst formation do not carry any increased risk of developing invasive breast cancer. And second is the identification of general proliferative fibrocystic changes are associated with 1.5 to 2 time increased risk for development of invasive breast cancer. Third is a multifocal and bilateral proliferative changes in the breast pose increased risk of both the breast equally. And fourth one is the within the group of proliferative fibrocystic changes, atypical hyperplasia is particular, carries 4 to 5 times increased risk to develop invasive breast cancer later. This risk is furthermore if there is a history of breast cancer in the family. There is one more condition which is called the gynecomastia, hypertrophy of male breast. This is unilateral and bilateral enlargement of the male breast is known as gynecomastia. Since the male breast doesn't contain secretory lobules, the enlargement is mainly due to proliferation of the duct and increased periductal stroma. Gynecomastia occurs in response to hormonal stimulation, mainly the estrogen. Such excessive estrogenic activity in male is seen in young boy between the 13 to 17 years. This is called the pubertal gynecomastia. In man over 50 years, this is called the senescent gynecomastia. General features are both the breast are enlarged, having a smooth glistering white tissue, and microscopic examination proliferation of branching duct with display epithelial hyperplasia with formation of papillary projections and increased fibrous stroma with myxoid appearance. This is a reference. This session is powered by 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any query, please mention it in comment box. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.